Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to finally get into these new palettes from Clionadh. I have the Oceano, Archeo, and the Paleo palette. And I'm also going to use their fruit lighter highlighters that I recently picked up and create a look with each and use a highlighter in each look. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri. I am just a crazy lover of all things beauty. I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot in indie makeup, so if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. I am going to be real with y'all. I am so behind in doing makeup reviews, makeup looks, doing any kind of makeup content lately because I was so focused on my recent collab with ItsBel Cosmetics, the Tropical Nights collection. I think most of you know about it, but if you haven't heard, I have a collab and I was focused on doing content for that, videos, stuff for Instagram, so it got me like really behind and reviewing other things, and a lot has come in the mail. Okay guys, I have a crazy makeup addiction and I buy way too much, but you know what, that's a story for another day. But I did feature these Clionadh palettes on my channel. I did a whole thing where I did swatches on indie makeup. I did comparisons. So definitely check out that video. I will link it below. I'll put it in the corner. I also swatched these fruit lighters too, so if you want to see them up close and personal. But that's all I wanted to let you know in this intro right here. I think we should dive into the look so I can give you guys my thoughts at the end. So I'm going to start off with the Oceano palette. And I did prime my eyes with the Glamlight Icing eyeshadow base in Buttercream, and I did not set it. So I'm going to try to use as many shades as possible. I'm thinking green, blue, and then like an intense neon-y coral moment in the front. Seems the best way to use all these shadows. I'm going to start off with Manta Ray. I'm so excited that they did a revamp of these palettes and brought them back out, because I'm more of a person who likes completed palettes instead of buying singles, and Clionadh is known for singles more than anything, especially their stained glass collection. So I'm happy that they brought these palettes back so people can know more about their other formulas instead of just the stained glass. I'm getting some fallout, but I'm not surprised as these shades are pretty powdery and there's a lot of kick up in the pan, so that's my fault. I should have dusted off the excess, but you know, I like to do things the hard way. But I'm going to just focus this on the outer corner here. So I was able to dust off that little fallout. Didn't really get any staining. But when I say these mattes are powdery, they're powdery. Like, look at that. It's even getting into the shimmer pan next to it. Now let's go over the edge of the shade with Archeo Pelago. This beautiful grungy green, like an olivey limey green. It's like an olive shade and a lime shade had a baby. That's how I would describe this. And I'm going to go over the edge. It's going to bring in some warmth into the look as well. I'm just using that to blend over the green. I'm going to keep it on this outer edge. Let's now move on to this Lagoon shade, which looks so vibrant of a blue. And all the mattes are super powdery. All of them. I'm trying to emphasize that for you guys. And I'm going to put that in the center part. Wow, look how pigmented that is. Can you guys see that? It's translating, I feel like, a little deeper on the lid than it looks in the pan. But it's stunning and beautiful. I do feel like I need a little bit more depth, like just a smidge more depth. So I am going to take a bit of undertow. I feel like that is deeper than the Manta Ray shade. I'm going to use the same rougher brush I've been using for most of the shades. And just put a little bit on the outer corner. Now for the really exciting part, I'm going to take Starfish. This beautiful bright coral. It seems kind of like a neon, and I'm gonna pack that in the inner portion because I need to. It's so pretty. Look at that. I'm gonna treat it as though it's a neon because like shades like this, you don't want to layer them on too much or it can like start getting patchy. Maybe we'll use a little bit of Tidal. This one is more kind of satiny. And I'm going to use it here. Just basically laying it over the mat I put down. I definitely need to go into Mauna Loa, which is that vibrant, like peachy gold goodness, and layer that in the inner portion. Oh, that is so pretty. I feel like I want to take a little bit of the seagrass shade and kind of use it like in the center between the blue and the corally orange shimmer. I feel like we need like an in between. So before I finish off the lower lash line, let's get into one of these fruit lighters. Now I realized I don't have any blush on for some reason, so I'm gonna take the shade Krista from Benefit. I feel like it fits with like the inner portion, and use that on the cheeks real quick. Now that I'm blushed up, finally, I'm gonna go into the shade called Crisp. This one I think will be fitting for the look. This one I think is like kind of peachy, ready peachy. It's really pretty. Oh, my hands are so dirty. Ignore that. And I'm gonna take this Kaleidos brush and I'm just gonna put that on and see how it looks on the cheeks. Ooh, that is so pretty. I do feel like I have some staining under the eyes. These mats are way too powdery. Gotta be so careful. Did I go crazy? Yes, I did. These are very reflective. You don't need a lot. This could probably be a blush lighter if you had like really fair skin. I probably put on too much, but is there such thing in Brianna's world? No, not with highlighter or blush or color. So there it is. You guys can really see it. It's like a reddish peachy kind of highlighter. It's really pretty. So now I'm gonna go finish off my lower lash line and complete the look, do liner, lashes, and mascara. I'm gonna do that all off camera because why not, to save some time, and then I will be back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back, and here is the completed look with the Oceano palette. Now I did go and put like little gems on the top. Let me try to lower the exposure here so you guys can see. Can you see that? Look how cute that is. It's the starfish, little pearls. I got some pinky pearls in the inner portion. I got them from Amazon. If you look up like nail gems, different themes for nail gems, you can find a bunch of them like this in like multi-packs. And then for the rest of the look, I took these two liners from the Lethal Avatar collection. This one right here is a metallic shifty like multi-chrome liner. I used that to create the wing. It's from the Katara set, I believe. And then for the arch here, I used this iridescent one that does have kind of like a peachy shift to it. This is from the Aang set. I just wanted more to this look. I was just feeling creative this evening. And then for my waterline, I took the Oden's Eye Somone liner in number 2. It's orange. And I mixed it with the NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk just to make a light orange to match the inner portion here for the waterline. And then I used the Milani Highly Rated mascara and the Blend Bunny Omni Lash mascara together this time. And then for lips, I use this gloss right here. Usually I don't go for gloss, but I was feeling something more shiny, so I used the Oden's Eye and Judy collab from their Spring Dragon collection. This is a like shine lip gloss in Buttercup. It's a peachy kind of gloss. I felt like it was like really fitting for this look. I did take the fruit lighter that I use on my cheeks, the one in Chris. I added that to the inner portion and I added it up here in like the arch. And I took some of the shade called Ocean Glass. I should have did it on camera, and I used that on my brow bone over here. I don't know if you guys can tell. And I did add a little bit of this liner from the Avatar collection in the inner portion for more brightness. It wasn't like as poppy in the inner corner as I wanted it. And that was all I did off camera to complete this kind of mermaid look. I love it. And I was able to use a good amount of shades, but that was everything for the Oceano palette. Now let's get into the next look. It is another day and it is time for some more makeup. I am going to be using the Paleo palette today, but this time I'm going to remember to put on highlighter first. And with this color story, I'm thinking we should use Juicy. This one is like, you know, orangey, goldy moment. I do have my blush from the Tropical Nights blush and highlighter palette. I have Aloha on, if you're curious. You know, any excuse to talk about my collab, I will. Whoa, that is intense. It is yellowy, goldy goodness. Whoa, I need to stop putting so much on. Famous last words. But it's pretty. I don't know if you guys can see the gold. Let me see. Can it capture it in this mirror? Maybe. It's more orangey in person, but on camera it looks like a almost champagne gold. Now that I'm highlighted to the heavens, let's get into the Paleo palette. And I'm thinking I'm going to go mainly like brown nudie and then do a pop of blue. Just not usually my way of doing things, but I'm feeling a nudie look today. So I'm going to start off with Pangea. It's like a kind of yellowy mustardy brown. Man, these mattes are crazy powdery. So just be careful with this matte formula. Okay, now I'm going to go into Magma. This one is like a orangish brown nude shade. I'm going to also use that, but more in the front. I'm going to see if there's a difference. Oh yeah, there's a difference between the two. This does have a little bit more of an orange tint. This one has more of a orangey brown look. I'm debating between Fossil or Tectonic. Tectonic seems more warm. Fossil almost looks like it might be purplish. So we're going to go with Tectonic to keep this more of a brownie look. Look at this. Look, as soon as you dig in there, powder everywhere. Not a deal breaker for me, but I'm really trying to emphasize how powdery these mattes are. But I'm going to use that just on the outer corner. And I'll bring it a little bit into the crease. Usually if I'm going to do something nudie, it's going to be a nudie smoky look. This shade leans a little bit more reddish in the undertone. And it seems a little bit more sheer. The Tectonic shade, I do feel like I need to like build it up more than the other mattes that I went in with, but it's still building. I just know it has a little bit more of a sheer quality to it. So I think I'm gonna just do the same on the lower lash line. I'm gonna do that though quickly off camera to save some time. I'm just gonna go in with all the same shades I went with up here. And then we'll get into the shimmers. So I know for sure I want to go into Archeo, which is a multi-chrome. It has like a taupe brown shift to it. Let me see if I can capture it. You see, it's like super pink, but then there's green to it. I don't know. Oh, there it is. You can see the green. It's crazy how shifty this is. And I think I'm just going to use my finger. It's like one of those multi-chromes that work really well for nudie looks and to make a nudie look a little bit more interesting because it has a shift. It's a very smooth, buttery formula. It's not thick and chunky or overly like creamy or like a putty at all. It's just so smooth. Now I want to go into this shade called Epoch. This one's like a really bright kind of champagne. And I'm going to use a flat shader brush to apply this shade. This one looks like it's a little bit more sparkly than the Archeo one that feels like a more traditional smooth multi-chrome. And I'm going to spray it. And I'm just going to put it on right in the inner part of the lid. I feel like there might be some pink to this shade as well. Maybe it's a dual chrome. Or maybe I'm just seeing the pink from the other shade. But now for the fun part, let's go in Glacial as the inner corner highlight. A fun little pop of blue. I'm going to use the same brush I used to apply the Epoch shade. And use that right there in the inner portion. Let me clean the brush off. And I'm also going to wet it. This one also looks super sparkly. Hopefully it's light enough to be an inner corner highlight on me. Ooh, yeah. That is fun. I'm just going to keep it right there. I'm getting some shimmer fallout from this shade. It has a lot of sparkle to it. Wow, it's really showing up like so well. Should we just put a little bit of Juicy on the brow bone? We might as well. Before I go off camera, I'm going to use my pinky. You need very little of this shade. Honestly, very little. There we go. Okay, so I am all done. I'm going to do liner, lashes, mascara. Maybe I might just do mascara. I'll figure out something for my lips. And then I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, y'all, I'm back. I lowered the brightness a bit so I can lean in and really show you guys what I did with the look. I had every intention to keep this look chill, and then I added details because I want it to be extra, because that's what I do. I'm in my creative era again. But I have the Unearthly Cosmetics Immortality Liner. This one was from their, I think, Valentine's Day mystery box in Love Struck. Iridescent pinky liner. And then for the inner portion, I added these blue gems that match the blue in the inner portion. I put gems on the outer wing here, and the liner too on the edge of the wing. And that's my little extraness that I did. But let me change the lighting so I can back up a bit. But what else I did off camera to finish this look, let me get it to focus. There we go. I use the Simone gel liner from Oden's Eye number 7. It's a pastel blue. I didn't feel like the blue was exact, so I went over it with the LA Girl Shockwave liner in Fresh just to get the perfect shade of blue for my waterline. I use the same 2 mascaras that I used in the first look. And then for my lips, I wanted something a little grungy brown. So I have this About Face Matte Paint It Lip Color in Nudist Judas. It's like a kind of yellowish brown. I think it fits really well with the browns that are in the crease and on the lid. And I think that's it. Besides liner, oh yes, I used the LA Girl Jet Setter liquid liner to create the wing. And that is all I did for this second look. I think it's pretty. This is my version of being a demure and mindful. Are you guys not sick of hearing that? It's stuck in my head. These trends on social media just burn into my brain and they never go anywhere but stay there and drive me crazy. But anyways, that was everything for the Paleo palette and the Juicy highlighter. Beautiful little warm nudie moment. So I think we should now get into the final palette and one more highlighter. Another day, and I'm going to get into the Archeo palette, but first we need highlighter, and I'm going to get into the Fruit Lighter shade called Quench. This one's a more like pinky one. It's really pretty, and I'm going to put that here. This one too definitely could be like a blush lighter if you have really fair skin. Go on with a light hand if you don't want to look crazy like me. I always put too much, but whatever, it's the life. All right, Live. And put some here. It just has more color to it than some of the other highlighters in the collection. So for this look, I want to mix cool and warm tones. I definitely want to use, is it Lichen? This gray charcoal shade. First, I did prime my eyes, by the way, with the Glamlight Icing Eyeshadow Base in Buttercream, and I did not set it. So I found this decently clean brush, and we're just going to go into it. I feel like with this kind of matte formula that they have in these palettes, the darkest shade, I think, would be better to go on first if you want that to be the most pigmented. I noticed some of these darker mattes were not building up as much when it was laid over another matte. So I just wanted to see. So I'm noticing some patchiness issue. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh yeah, it's picking up on camera. It's like not wanting to really lay down. And that's with me not putting it over another matte. But if you like try to layer it up this matte too much, it just starts to kind of get patchy. So I just don't know if maybe the mattes in here are just a little too powdery, which is making them more sheer. So let's go on to the next shade. I'm going to, I don't know, take a smaller brush this time. Yeah, I'll take this Real Techniques brush. And I'm going to go into the shade called Monolith. This kind of mauve-y berry shade. And I'm going to use that here. And kind of over the edge of the gray. Now I do want to go into the shade called Nomad, the mustardy yellow, and use that in the inner portion. With this like pencil brush from Kaleido, tap off the excess. And that will just add like a little pop of warmth to the front, and I'll just try to fuse it a little bit into that mauve berry shade. I want to get into the shimmers now. So let's start off with the Glyph shade, and I'm just gonna put it here. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm really loving the shimmers in these palettes. They're just really easy to work with and very creamy. I wonder if this will look funny. I'm gonna use it a little bit in the inner portion. Yeah, I think so. I feel like this leans a little orangey. But it has a lot of sparkle to this shade. This is the Artifact shade, by the way. There's kind of like a rose goldness to it. So I definitely need to now get into the Sulfur shade. And I'm going to use it with a brush. This is, I think, from Glisten. This one is like a yellow shade that has like a green shift to it. These shimmers also pick up really nicely on a brush. I'm going to spray it, and I'm just going to focus it here. And I will probably use this in the inner corner too. Yeah, because it's bright enough to be an inner corner highlight shade. I feel like I want to just go a little lighter in the inner corner. So I'm going to take the Fruit Lighter in Pucker that I have not used from the Fruit Lighters that I showed in that haul video, even though I bought 4 more, which will probably show up in another haul video very soon. I might as well go also use the Pucker shade on the brow bone too. It's the only highlighter that I didn't use on my face in the video today. But I'm happy I still found a use for it in the video. So now I'm going to go do my lower lash line, figure out what I want to put in the waterline. I do have a little bit of fallout on the cheeks and some shimmer fallout from these shades. But I'm going to clean things up, and then I will be right back to show you guys the completed look, and then we can wrap up this video. Alright my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. I feel like it's giving spooky Halloween fall vibes. I'm feeling like a vampire goddess. I'm gonna be real. I'm feeling myself. I think this is my favorite look out of all 3, which surprises me because I loved all of them. There's just something about this color combo that is giving me life. But I'm gonna lean in and lower the lighting a bit so you can see better. I feel like when I lean in, like my face gets washed out, but this is the look. I added gems, of course. I put like this shifty gem here, a purple gem, a yellow gem in the inner portion. I got the gem placement idea from Nelly, the owner of ItsBel. She's just so good at putting gems in her eye looks. And then I also got my lip idea from her too. And one of her looks, she took her lippy and then she put the highlighter that's in here, the Hoku highlighter, in my Tropical Nights blush palette with her, and it looks so stunning. So I took the Unearthly Cosmetics liquid lipstick in Grim. Here we go, Halloween vibes continuing. And I tapped over my lippy with the shade in the Archeo palette, the Glyph shade, the one that's on my lid right here, and you can just see the sparkle. It's so pretty, and it like gives like a monochromatic whole vibe with the look. Isn't that pretty? Oh my god, the highlighter, everything. And then for the rest of the look, I took the LA Girl Shockwave liner and Screamin', still Halloween themed here, to match with like the yellow inner portion. I used the same mascara combo, and I used the same liner from the last look, the LA Girl Jet Setter liquid liner, to create a wing. And yeah, I'm in a mood right now. So that was the look with the Archeo palette and the fruit lighters. I think I'm ready to give you guys like my thoughts on everything now that I've gotten a chance to use all the palettes and the fruit lighter. So I'm gonna back up a bit and we're just gonna dive right into my thoughts. So we'll get into the fruit lighters first. I love these. They're intense though. A little goes a long way. You can be beaming to the heavens with these highlighters. I do feel like the crisp and the quench ones have more color to them. They'll definitely be blush lighters for me, and more like blushes once I lose my summer tan. So if you're fairer than me or have like a very fair skin tone, I feel like these are going to be more like blushes because they have strong color to them. As for like the plucker and the juicy one, they're definitely highlighters on me. Even if I like were to get a little bit more fair, I think they'll still work as highlighters, but they're intense. They're foiled, okay? They're not for the faint of heart. I do feel like the formula feels similar to the fruit lighters that were in the Dragon Fruit collection. I just feel like those ones were like true shifty multi-chrome highlighters. These are more slight shift highlighters, in my opinion, but they're beautiful. And then for the palettes, I love all of them. The color stories are stunning, and the theme and everything. I feel like looking at the outer packaging, you know what you're gonna get inside. They did a really good job with the color stories. I of course love Oceano the most. It's my most favorite color story, with the greens, the blues, that electric coral in the inner portion is so beautiful. I love it. And then there's some grunge, and I think maybe my second favorite might be Archeo. I'm liking the muted tones with some color pops, and then it would be Paleo. I just feel like this one is like a warm tone nudie palette with blues, which we've seen before, but I mean, it's still gorgeous nonetheless. But I did want to note, I do feel like the mattes in here are very, very powdery, which I emphasized through this entire video. Like, as soon as you put your brush in the pan, you're gonna have tons of powder everywhere, and because of that, I feel like it makes the mattes a little bit more sheer. So I would recommend you use the darker mattes first. Do not layer these over other mattes. It's just hard for them to cling to the lid if it's on like a powder base. But I'm gonna have to test out these mattes more to finalize my opinion, which I'll do in like a future ranking video once I've gotten a chance to use all of these a lot more. But I'm loving all the color stories. I'm loving the metallics in all of these. They're creamy, they're easy to use, they pick up well on your finger, brush. They just glide right on. They're intense and sparkly, but not thick and overly textured and flaky. They're definitely more user-friendly metallics, and great if you don't want to have metallics that are going to enhance texture, but you still want them to be intense and striking and sparkly. They definitely give you that in this palette. So I feel, because I love the shimmers so much and I love the color stories so much, that I'm willing to put the extra work to get these palettes to work for me. I just do feel like you have to work with the mattes a little more. They're not the easiest mattes I've tried. So that is my thoughts on the palettes. I love them nonetheless, and I really did enjoy the highlighters. But you guys are gonna have to let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments below? Did you purchase, did you pass on the fruit lighters, any of these eyeshadow palettes? What are your thoughts on the looks and all that? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot of indie makeup and all that good stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will link the haul video where I swatch all of these products, do comparisons. I will have my makeup linked and everything, like what I'm wearing for foundation and all that, in case you're curious. And I will have other videos in mind you might be interested in watching, other Clionadh videos. and all that good stuff. And I will have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, for supporting me, being amazing. I just appreciate you guys all so much, and I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just send you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.